Underrated player. Seriously.
Number one on this list, though.
Oh, he was great.
How much coaching credit can you take for this #1 ranked power play?
None. Try and stay out of the way.
Coach, for all the credit the power play is getting, the penalty kill is doing really well this year. Kind of under acclaimed, if you will. Can you just talk about what you guys are doing there?
Well, you know, good players make a coach look pretty good. So our guys have really bought into everything that we've asked them to do on the team, whether it be even power play, penalty killing. And we're just getting great effort out there, and great work ethic at practice. And you know, in the case of penalty killing, goaltending has been really good too. So it's spread out all over the place. It's just the guys are trying to do what we ask, and they work with each other, and they communicate, and they work hard.
Happened last year too, when you went from a low number of defensemen to an influx of defensemen. Tell me a little about juggling and balancing the defensemen right now, and obviously you got a guy like Ryan Button who's playing forward and is also a defenseman.
Yeah, it's been tough. That's the nature of the American Hockey League, because we've got guys that are going both directions, right? You know, when the roster gets full, they go down the East Coast League, and when injuries happen on our roster or up in Dallas, they affect the numbers too. So. We're fortunate that we have a lot of guys in the organization that can all play. It's a difficult position to have extra guys. The other night we had 8 defensemen dressed. Ryan was playing forward, and Russ Sienkiewicz came in. It's hard to rotate 7. They don't get enough ice time. They don't get into the game. And I mentioned that to Russ, and he understands because he's been in that position too. So. But the guys have done a really good job of adjusting, and they practice and play with everybody else, and it just makes it a lot easier when you do have injuries.
What have you seen out of Max this year? He's been having a particularly good year for you guys.
Well, Maxie's just a true character on our team. Not character as in funny guy, but he's a man with great character, and that's why he's the captain of our team. He works extremely hard off the ice. He's prepared. You know, he's one of the older guys on the team. He comes to practice. He works hard there, and things have just kind of fallen into place for him. But I said this last year that I thought the leadership group was the strength of our team, and I think it's just as true this year. And he's the leader of the leaders.
It seems like some of those leadership guys, Travis and Max, have been more willing to be physical and get into those tough areas this year than they maybe have in the past. Is that something you guys have been preaching?
Well, you know, one of the things that we always focus on is tempo in practice and competing in practice. And if that leads to a little bit more physical play and a little bit more involvement, that's great. And I think that's probably been the biggest thing, is that we practice hard. We don't practice long, but we practice hard. And when we go hard. And I don't know what happened before, you know, in years before we were here, but the players are really working hard in practice, and that spills over into the game.
What have you seen about Derek Meach and his transition to getting into the team system, and what have you thought of him?
You know, he's a true professional. He has a lot of poise. When you see him out there, he's really smooth. He's been around the block more than once, and he came in, and we've asked a lot of him from a leadership point of view, stuff that you won't see on the ice inside the dressing room, and it's really starting to pay off. And I think you can see it. He's partnered up right now with Jamie Alexiak, and I think he's kind of helped Ole, especially in the last couple of weeks. It's starting to show.
That was going to be my next question. Is he kind of tutoring Ole a little bit there?
He is, and you know, the older guys always kind of tutor the guys. If the young guys are smart, they'll pay attention to what older guys do. You know, everything from how they tape their stick to how they just get ready before a game, how they mentally prepare themselves. They like to have a good time. They like to have fun. But when it comes time to work, they also can switch that button and focus for the games. That's what, you know, younger guys can learn from older guys, and Derek Meach certainly brings that.
What are those next steps that Jamie Alexiak can make in order to ensure his place in Dallas?
Well, consistency is always, you know, a struggle for guys that are in the American Hockey League. If you look at it from a physical point of view, he's more than capable of playing big minutes at the NHL level. And he's done it on occasion, but he has to bring that consistent work ethic, and that's just learning about what it means to be a professional hockey player and come every day to the rink. And so I think that Ole's starting to put that together. He's still very young. You look at him and you go, gee, that's a big body, but he's still 21 years old, and it's a tough position to play, and he's done a real good job, but he has a long ways to go yet too.
Canada gonna make it back-to-back gold medals, Coach?
You know, it's something that I hope for, obviously, but it's such a competitive tournament. I would say that there's 6 real good candidates for the gold medal. The Russians, excuse me. The Russians are going to be very strong at home. The Americans have a good team. Swedes and the Finns have outstanding talent. The Finns have probably, arguably, maybe the best goaltending. There's so many different variables that go into it, but I do think Canada has a very strong team, and I think they'll be right there.
All right.
Awesome.
Thank you much,
Thank you,
Coach.
Coach.